This is the 526EZ. Most of you already know what this is, especially if you're filing for an increase. If you're new at this game, I want to go in depth, and even the people who are filing an increase, it's just some tips and tricks that I see that stalls claims a lot. So this form is current as of November 2022. The first, however many pages, let's say there's 3, 4. So the first 8 pages is going to be all of the legality side of the house. They do have some good information if you want to take the time to read it. All right, so again, you're going to use this form, the 526EZ, is it if you've never filed a claim before or you're filing for an increase. So a couple of things. Most of you are going to upload this through va.gov, but there's some of you that are going to drop this off at a regional office. I want you guys to take a picture of the person. When they get it, they should be stamping right here where it says VA date stamp. This right here trumps how the VA gets this. So let's just say for today, it's March 2nd, 2025. That stamp should say 3/2/2025, and this is your date of claim. So your pay, if you're warranted, would start at whatever date is written here. I highly suggest to take a picture because people make mistakes. Because what they'll do is they'll either mail this to a regional office, they'll fax it, and sometimes those dates are used instead of the date that you handed this over to a person. Box number 1 honestly does not even matter. So the FDC program was a program that they were trying to spearhead to speed stuff up. I'm just going to end it there. Standard claim process is basically what anyone that's filing an increase or filing a new claim that has not been out of the military, that has been out of the military for a really long time. Again, none of this really matters. You can even leave it blank. The IDES program has nothing to do with people that are just filing for an increase or a claim. It's something that you're going to do if you're in the military, med boarding and things like that. The BDD is benefits delivery at discharge, which means that you are still currently active duty. And you have a window that you have to submit this form in order to get paid at discharge. Does it always work that you're rated before discharge? I'm keeping my mouth shut. All right, so this is pretty self-explanatory. You're filling this out for the veteran or yourself, social security number. Have you ever filed a claim? I think that this is important simply because if you have not ever filled one out, and then all of a sudden you're getting a letter from the VA stating, hey man, it looks like you filed a claim for tinnitus and the VA requires you to fill it out on a form because you were previously denied. That should perk your ears up to be like, holy shit, I've never filed, like what the hell's going on? And you want to investigate. VA file number. Up until a point, I think it's just safe to say that if you weren't in World War II, the Korean War, Vietnam, then you're going to have your file number is going to be your social. You can leave it blank. It doesn't matter. Your date of birth, forget this box number 7. It does not matter. The BDD claims, all this means is that let's just say I am getting out 3 March. So I'm getting out tomorrow, and that's my tentative date. In my head, that's what my command has told me. I'm going to put 3/3/2025. Your date of claim is always RAD. We call it RAD. It's released from active duty plus 1 day. So in our system, your date of claim is going to be 3/4/2025. Again, it does not matter for anyone that is not currently active duty. Put your telephone number, your mailing address. Email is optional. If you're currently a VA employee, all that means is it would flag it. So wherever you're working, your regional office would not get that. Just out of sort of respect. They're not going to work on your claim, and you're sitting right next to them. Change of address, pretty self-explanatory. Make sure to put your social security as a continuation. All right, homeless. If you are homeless or you're helping someone out that is homeless, put yes. And whatever their living situation is here. If you are helping the person or you are currently homeless and you have someone that maybe your social worker or someone that has a cell phone, in the event that your cell phone gets stolen, it gets lost, whatever. Basically, we cannot talk to them about your claim, or the VA cannot talk to them about your claim. They can only ask, hey, have you seen Johnny? I'm looking for him. All right, exposure information. So this is where the PACT Act comes into place. So this is important because this is considered explicitly telling the VA that you were exposed to some sort of toxin. So if you know that you were exposed to a toxin, hit yes. If you were Navy, most of all the Navy guys were exposed to asbestos on the ship. I would definitely do a quick Google search to see what carriers you were on, to see when they were retired, and most of you Navy guys were always exposed to asbestos. So Gulf War, pretty self-explanatory, Agent Orange is going to be Vietnam. It's going to be Thailand, Guam, Johnson Atoll. There's a whole list of Vietnam places. It says right here, so Laos. So any of the Royal Thai bases. A lot of my Navy blue waters. Johnson Atoll was the awful. It was absolutely awful. Like, was it 450,000 gallons of Agent Orange was just chilling out in the ocean all over the base. No one ever talks about it. I will definitely go into depth in a Terra or a PACT video about all of these places. Let's go down. The C-123 aircrafts, because they sprayed the Agent Orange. And again, you don't have to ever get these dates accurate because the VA has ways to find out. All right, so another form of the PACT is asbestos, which we just talked about. So asbestos is going to come in the form of on the naval ships. A lot of your MOSs were exposed to asbestos. The Shipboard Hazard and Defense, the mustard gas, and MOS. This is super, 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 super important. I am going to save that one for last. The radiation, Camp Lejeune. I'm still getting pissed about Camp Lejeune because you guys are still getting jacked on that. So other is if you can prove that you were exposed to something, then put other. Again, this is a touchy subject because I'm just trying to keep my mouth shut, but this particular, it's just frustrating for me because you guys know that you were exposed to stuff, and the PACT Act opens up the floodgates for helping you guys out being exposed. But some people, when they're doing your medical opinions, don't believe that all of this exposure is what created what is wrong with you. I'm going to stop talking. Let's go on to military occupational specialty. If you just put that, you just clicked it and you didn't say anything else, it's hard to get you a Terra exam because that is you're implicitly saying, hey, my military occupation, jacked me, but we need to know. So for instance, mechanics, aircraft mechanics, I would really, take the time to put in here JP8, JP4, exhaust, fuel, the cleaning agents, anything and everything that you can remember that you were exposed to. If you explicitly, meaning, hey man, I'm screaming from the friggin' rooftops that I was exposed to this, then when we find it, then we can give you a whole nother medical opinion off of Terra. But just simply saying, asthma packed MOS. It's not, it doesn't do you any service. So I would over talk and over explain as opposed to under. A quick Google search of what your military occupational specialty was will show you what you were exposed to. All right, so this is where a lot of times mistakes are made. Whatever, at the VA, they call them contentions. So if you hear me say contention, all that means is what disability are you trying to get? So for instance, I'm gonna try to break this down as easy as possible. Most of you guys are going to do, let's just say, audio. Do you know, like, what happened? Where were you when you got it? No. But if you just, if you put, a lot of you guys are just putting MOS and that's it. If you can remember that you were on hearing profiles, most of you guys were always on a hearing profile. You had to constantly go into the flight doc, check your hearing, and they would give you the earplugs, etc. Put as much information as possible. Always, 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 always. You do not have to know the dates at all. You really don't even, you can put stuff here, but do you have to? No. All right, so let's say, for instance, you just put, pain. If you just put pain, we have no idea what is happening, what is going on, what kind of pain are you going through. So you want to break it down. You could say knee pain. Oh my word, can I type? You can say knee pain secondary to back pain. You can claim back pain. Put as many as you want, but give as much information as you want. A big one is PTSD. PTSD, I've done some other videos on it. It is a beast that I could talk months about. But if you just put PTSD, they are not going to know. Are you talking about combat? Did you see combat? Do you have a combat action badge? Do you have Bronze Star with a V device? The 38 CFR has a whole list of everything that the military, that the VA is going to concede and verify. Hey, they got this award, that automatically gets them an exam. If you put PTSD, let's just say combat, just say, please see Purple Heart, or you can see, please see cab, please see, whatever. If you put PTSD, let's just say, for instance, that you deployed, you did not see combat, but you were in an area that the VA has deemed a hostile military area, which all boils down to did you have hostile military pay? So, okay, you did. So let's say that you went to Iraq. You could put PTSD, Iraq, and you're just going to put fear of hostile zone. And you can go into great detail, but you can save that for later. All right, let's say that you do PTSD, we'll get off PTSD. We'll do anxiety, depression, yes, insomnia. Those are big ones that always go hand in hand. Okay, so this is the skinny on this. You're not going to get compensated 3 times for anxiety, depression, and insomnia. It falls under one umbrella, which is mental health. So with anxiety, depression, insomnia, schizophrenia, any bipolar, all of that stuff is just going to be mental. So if you're trying to claim all these, just pick one. Like, what did you get diagnosed with in service? If you didn't get diagnosed in service, how are we going to link your symptoms right now of anxiety to something that happened in the military? All right, I'm not going to go too much into this. I just want to talk about filling this out. Tinnitus is a big one. All right, so tinnitus is probably the easiest thing to get awarded in the military. So tinnitus, obviously ringing of the ears. There is no way to test tinnitus. So if you are currently going to the VA, talk to your doctor about your ringing in the ears and get it on paper. How do you relate that ringing of the ears? Can you relate it back to your MOS? All right, so I'm going to get off the current disabilities right now, and we're going to keep going down. So this right here holds up a lot of claims. If you guys have been treated outside of any government agency, we're talking about you're way out of the military, you went to the vet centers for mental health, you've gone to the VAMC, or perhaps you've participated in community care. If you put right here, let's just say Togus VAMC, I suggest the more information that you can dumb this down so a 5-year-old can read it, please do it. Because unfortunately, there may or may not be a lot of people who are very passionate about this job. I am in no way, shape, or form bashing anyone, but just tell them what to do. Togus VAMC. When I put VAMC, it just means the VA hospital. I would say no need to send 4142 and A. It is a VA hospital. End of story. Okay, if your treatment dates fall, let's just say that you got seen like in the early 90s, 80s, late. I feel like, please do not quote me because I do not have the 38 CFR up right now. I will find it before I post this video and put it at the bottom. The VA did not upload when they changed when they changed servers for the medical records. If you were seen, again, I feel like it's 2003, but do not quote me on that. If you were seen before that, those records never got uploaded into your current file. So if everything that you need in order to get service connected is sitting just out in outer space, you need to let the VA know. You need to request the 7103 for my records because I need those records to help me. Again, so if your dates are 80s, 90s, early 2000s, just simply put, please request my records from VA using a 7103 request. Again, I should just do a whole another video on that. Just reach out to me if you need help. Let's just say that you got seen at, I don't know, the Portland, Maine hospital. This right here has no affiliation with the VA at all, the military at all. So a VSR, they're the ones that do all your pre-work. Consider them like just like the worker bees to get all of your information, like the paralegals, if you will, to present to the rater. This right here, you need to fill out a 4142 and a 4142A. Those forms just kind of, all that form is it's a HIPAA. You're signing your name, you're filling out your information, and it's good for 1 year, 365 days, the 4142. And that allows the PMR, the records retrieval company that the VA has hired, to go and submit these requests in this server that's, sitting up in the cloud, and then it goes to the hospital that you want. So in this case, you're going to fill out the 4142, giving permission for the release of your records, and then 4142A portion is you filling out what hospital you want them to go and find these records for. So how does this like stall your claim is that if you just put this and A, someone doesn't catch it, or B, you don't submit that 4142 with this, now the VSR is going to send you a paper, or they're going to send you something in the mail that you're going to add a tracker on your claim, and then you got to wait until we get these records. Because a lot of people don't realize that the VA can still develop and get you your exams, etc., while waiting for these records. All right, hopefully I have not confused anyone. All right, so records, that can definitely stall you. All right, did you serve under another name? Super important, especially for my female veterans. If you got married after you got out of the military, your records are not going to be under your current surname. It will be under your other surname. Or if you are a male and you changed your name, the same thing. Obviously, branch of service, pretty self-explanatory. This is so important, you guys. You do not understand how important this is. Active Reserves, National Guard. I see, or the VA sees so many claims that it's like just chilling at 300 days because no one knows how to get records. So make sure that your records, I'm in the Army, active, can you click both of them? You can't. All right, so listen, this part, if you were ever active, yes, put active. Most recent active dates. You do not have to have it perfect. You can put 0101, and if you know the year, this does not have to be accurate because the VA has a way of looking. Place your last anticipated separation, put this. Did you serve in a combat zone? This is sort of redundant because it asked you above, but if you did, put yes. This is where it gets important. Some of you guys will get out because you want to get out of active, but you still want to get the benefits of insurance or whatever, so you're going to join either the National Guard or the Reserve. I cannot tell you, especially if you're still active, these records don't ever get included in part of your claim. So if you have or currently are in the Reserves or National Guard, put yes. Put this, fill out this. This is so important that you put wherever it was. So let's just say, I don't know, I'm 451, I don't even know, national, or let's do 451 current way, I'm just making this up, and it was in Augusta, Maine. So the reason this is so important is because if you are currently National Guard and Reserves, and you just got off Title 10, your records are not going to be in the repository where they're going to look. Those records are going to be sitting in your OMPF on your base right now. So if you do not tell them, hey man, develop for my records, they're sitting here, they could or could not ever be requested. So give as much information as possible, and I would friggin' write a personal statement and I would send it with this, or you can put here, you can put it here, just wherever, just make it known that you may have to develop for them. Military pay, pretty self-explanatory. Like the disability, and active duty for that, pretty self-explanatory. So the deposit. This is something that it doesn't necessarily stall your claim, but sometimes you guys are going to get a letter in the mail, and it's probably pretty frustrating because you've filled this out for your checking and savings account information, and then they'll send you an incomplete application. We need your EFT information. So a lot of people don't understand that the reason why the VA is being, some people, it annoys them. It is annoying, but it's just safeguarding your bank account because people prey on you guys, and they will pretend and they will call you guys to get you to change your bank account information or to update it, and then they're just stealing it. So with this new form 2022, you have to submit a copy of your blank check voided out with this, Or you can call the 1-800-827-1000 number, do it over the phone, or you can just write it down. So if you have done one of those and they do send you a request for a blank check, you can ignore it. So this right here 100% stalls your claim if you do not sign it, especially if you are going in person to drop this off and it's not signed, then it'll stall your claim. So the section X, witnesses to signature, if you're using an X to sign it, you're going to need a signature. A lot of the times the X, if someone, you know, my older vets just physically can't sign, then they put an X and then they have someone, there's a form that they fill out to be able to do that. All right, again, an alternate signature, but you can't have an alternate signature unless you have that 0972 filled out. Let me see, a power of attorney. So your POA is allowed to sign this without you signing it, but you do have to have a current 2122 on file. So this right here, a lot of you guys, especially your BDD claims, you have like 50 to 100 things that you're trying to get compensated for. So it's going to, you know, you're going to have this all the way down. So if you do have to go down all the way to this page, please, 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 please put, where'd it go? Please see last page, because a lot of people stop there and they don't take the time, the 3 seconds to scroll down to see if there's anything else here. So just make sure that you let them know. All right, you guys, that's the 526EZ. You're gonna use this for filing an original claim that you've never, ever done before, or you're gonna use it for an increase. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you.